Hello everyone, and welcome to Empowering the Conscious Business Evolution Talk with me, Antonina Manev, for some fresh, thought-provoking and liberating conversations about inspiring the sparks of innovation and evolution and growing a bigger and a wider world of ethically successful and consciously evolving business environment. For those who tune in for the first time, I'm the founder of Inspire Strategic Business Growth Consultancy. As a business strategist, my focus is on turning visions into profitable businesses, be it for startups or established businesses. So in my area of work, evolving the business consciousness is a key element. You can find out more about my inspiring work by visiting the website www.visionsinspire.com. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel or like my Facebook page or connect on LinkedIn with me. Business owners work with me, looking to increase usually their business cash flow and profits and create a secure financial future so they fully enjoy a greater lifestyle and balance. However, along the way, the main obstacle appears to be the uncomfortable mindset of conformity, which accepts limitations in business making and development, or even growing in order to fit in an old custom conventional framework of business making that holds them back, and all that at the expense of their true identity. But how we even start to break up these frames? Well, we'll have to try. In my interviews, video or audio, I will be introducing you to exceptional business leaders, owners, and creators who have reached great success in what they do, not because they worked hard to fit in, but by challenging the status quo and constantly innovating themselves and their businesses, by searching back to their authentic roots to follow the person-business environment connection, and by taking approaches of consciously evolving to align with a higher social and earth value through their creativity, identity, and co-creative forward thinking. So be prepared, all my guests have left valuable tips and inspirational words of wisdom for you to take and do your best to outshine the conventional and grow yourself and business aligned with higher values. All their interviews are playing on the Inspire YouTube podcast channel. Happy listening and happy learning and growing. Hello everyone, and welcome to Empowering the Conscious Business Evolution show with me, Antonina Manev, in this very late hour in the UK, but actually my guest comes from Canada. She's been called different things, my guest. She's been called like better than therapy, a rock star, an ass kicker, a force of nature, and even a witch. So pretty strong accusation. So, dear listeners, please stay tuned, listen from start to finish, because you have no idea what is going to hit you tonight. So, my pleasure introducing to you Leslie M. from Canada, the founder of the award-winning Combustion company and the Swagger Queen. Leslie, welcome.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Hey, UK, you're my peeps. I lived in the UK for 17 years.
Did you?
I
Oh
did.
gosh.
I did.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions because we had this discussion today in the book club. Right. But let's go through the couple of questions so that you introduce yourself to the UK peeps. So, Leslie, how did you go from just Leslie to the Swagger Queen that you are today?
How long a story do you want? I mean, there's been a lot of steps to get there.
Yeah, of course. And can you just tell us quickly? And well, not quickly. You can go and expand on important stages of your journey, and especially I want to hear about the challenges, because we all know the success stories, they're all the ending, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I sort of came into the world kicking and screaming. I didn't fit into any box. I didn't follow the rules. I think like other people, and it was really hard for me to fit in. So I didn't try. I just embraced my uniqueness and followed my own very unique path. And it was not easy, let me tell you. It is a lot easier to assimilate, to blend in than it is to stand out. Because when you stand out, you don't always stand out for all of the things that are considered to be acceptable or perfect or shiny. And I just didn't care. And I lived my life like that. And as a result, I had a really wild and wonderful life. I was a musician for many years. I was a singer. I worked in the film industry. I was a TV host for years. I worked in the advertising business. And I was a student of people. I loved people profoundly, and I cared about their journey deeply. Everything I was doing was really a platform from which to communicate. I realized that over time. And eventually I said to my husband, I feel like I'm using my superpowers for evil instead of good. And I just want to really focus on helping people in a very practical way, because I saw how working in the business world changed people, how it impacted them, made them angry and frustrated and sad and disillusioned and disconnected. And I was like, what? We spend so much of our time working. And for a lot of people, they were in hell while they were working. Even if they loved what they didn't always loved who they were in it. They didn't love the relationships they had or didn't have. They didn't like the politics. They didn't like, all that kind of stuff. And very often they didn't feel that they were good enough to succeed, and it broke my heart. So I quit my job as a creative director of the biggest advertising agency in Canada.
My God.
And I started a training company. And I had no idea what I was doing. None. I had no experience in training. I had no background, no certification in adult learning, no coaching certification, no nothing. I just knew what my intention was, which was to help people be better in their work and at their work the next day. So that's what I did. I launched a training company. And that was about 15 years ago. The company was very different in the market because we weren't trainers. We were subject matter experts who trained people based on the subject matter expertise that we had, but also we could walk the talk. We could share their experience. We knew what it was like to be them, which was very important. So that company grew over years and years, and I traveled the world. It was incredibly exciting. Which Fortune 100 companies. I trained companies like Google and PepsiCo and Disney and Lenovo and Uber and HBO and blah 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 blah, like a kabillion different companies. But I discovered this fundamental human truth that I had been sort of playing with and recognizing, but it was like group after group after group after group, CEOs down to new entrants, didn't matter the culture, the country, the company. At their core, people did not believe that they could reveal to the world who they really were and still be successful. They just didn't believe that who they were fundamentally was good enough to bring them the success that they wanted. And I always suspected this. That was kind of my reason for making the change that I made. But it was just so prevalent, and I saw it over and over and over again. And I in my training experiences, I would really try and pull people out from behind that mask, from behind that protective layer, so that they could see themselves in a different light, in a safe environment. Their peers in their cohort, in their training experience, could see them and reflect back to them, wow, I've never seen you like this, or this is so different, or I'm amazed, or whatever. And I would say to them, when they would show their true selves, I would go, oh, there it is, there's your swagger. I called it swagger then. But I didn't define it as that show off, peacocky, arrogant thing that people think that swagger is. I redefined swagger as the ability to manifest who you really are
Yeah.
and hold on to it in the face of all of that psychological crap that's going to come for it, you know, all the haters, all the opinions, all the bias, all the whatever, so that you have one face, one truth, one heart, and you show up with it no matter what is going on. You are living your truth. And that is what became to me the focus of my work. That was everything to me. I was like, if I can help people to do this, then they'll be open to building these
Mm.
skills. They're going to change the way that they work naturally and organically. They're going to connect more meaningfully.
Yes.
They're going to have more followers. They're going to have more success. They're going to build a brand in a whole different way. Whatever it was that ability to manifest the authentic self that mattered, you know, and to stop pushing aside the stuff about ourselves that we don't think are shiny or perfect or glossy or acceptable or the same as everybody else, but to use it. It's like your magical superpowers.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, if we don't use it, it's like taking 30% of our power and putting it on the shelf.
Mm.
And then we wonder why we're not achieving everything that we can achieve. We're not being recognized or noticed. It's because we're operating at 70% power or 60% power. And you can't achieve greatness for yourself when you don't use everything that you are. So that's the very long story. And that's what led me to write the book. And here we are today,
Yeah, the Swagger Queen.
the Swagger Queen.
No,
I'll take it.
no,
I'll take it. I've been
take
called
it.
worse.
Please take it. No, because look at the cover. So you put a crown here.
Oh,
So
look,
what the crown?
here's my tattoo
There you go.
of the crown. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, naughty girl. Right. It must have been easy to break through those ideas like 10 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, through the skulls of the corporate leadership.
Yeah.
Can you describe to me one big challenge, or okay, I'll reframe it. Can you describe the first company, the first corporate body that allowed you or invited you, the polite word, to disrupt the behavioral status quo? The first one.
Well, I kind of think it was the very first client that I had, because I went out, like as soon as I launched my company, I didn't try and brand and market my company as being like any other company. I was very clear in saying what we're going to do is we're going to blow your you know what up.
Oh no,
We're
you
going
can
to
say it.
change
You
the
can
way
say it.
we're blow your shit up. We're going to blow
Yeah.
it up, and we're going to change the way that you do things. And either you accept that that's what's going to happen in the room. We have very weird methodology. It's going to be almost like therapy. It's not going to be like any training you've ever experienced. And I would take them through some of the exercises that we would do and whatever. And I said, if you don't want that, don't hire us, because it's not going to be good for you. Don't do it. You know, here's what I believe is going to happen. And over time, I had proof that here will be
Mhm.
the results. But you have to, I used to say to them, you have to let me do my good work. And you can't, like, because, you know, clients say, well, can you change this? And can you do that? And can you not do this? And whatever. I was like, no, no, no. Because I know that this recipe results in this. And as soon as we change some ingredients, I can no longer guarantee the results. But if you let me do my good work, here are the results that you're going to get, because I'd seen it, you know, so many times. So I prepared my clients. And then, you know, when I would go into the training room and we would have these amazing experiences, people would cry. That's a regular
Mm.
occurrence in our training experiences. Tears, and, you know, if you don't pee in your pants laughing at least once, I haven't succeeded in my day. It was irreverent. I swore. I didn't focus on corporate culture. I focused on the human beings within that, whatever they
Mhm.
were trying
Mhm.
to achieve. So I figured, you know, I don't want to pretend to be anything that I'm not. I've never done that in my life. And if people don't want it, that's fine. You can't be for everyone in this life. You cannot be for everyone. And as soon as you try, you just become this bland, vanilla nothing. And you know, if you measure success by the number of clients that you have, then great. Go try and be like everybody else. You're all fighting over the same thing. You're trying to break through the noise, and you're fighting with all of the competition who is saying the same thing. So good luck to you. It doesn't work. But if you say, I want to find the people who I am for, and once I find the people who I am for, I will then give them the best experience possible.
Mm.
They will then change as a result. They'll talk about the experience and they'll want to do it again. And that's exactly what happened. My business was built completely word of mouth. completely. I never did any advertising, any marketing for my business ever. All word of mouth. It's
And
proof.
you?
It's
Yeah.
proof.
So why do you think leaders and managers need that? What has changed now that requires them to need this? Because more and more people are leaning towards, well, not just now, but trying to figure out what their authenticity is and how that can work for them better.
Well,
Why?
we all learn from kind of the generations before us. And the the idea of what a leader used to be, or a boss, we refer to the boss or whatever. We didn't even talk about leadership 30 years ago. We talked about your boss kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And we didn't understand that leadership was not just status, or it wasn't a role. That in order to truly be a leader, you had to have followers. And people have a choice to follow you or not. Just because people work below you on the ladder, or that you manage them, doesn't mean they're going to respect you or follow you or buy into what you're saying or doing. They have a choice to do that. They'll do their jobs, but you will not be able to move the organization forward, because you don't have the army of believers. Their people are not all
yeah.
in. And more and more, there was all these risk takers who were doing research
Uh-huh.
on authenticity, and research on the emotional aspects of work and vulnerability. You look at Brene Brown's work, and all of these things were starting to become unignorable, because they were asking people, what do you want in a leader? What is going to get you engaged? What's going to increase your productivity? All of the things that
Mm,
businesses wanted. And people said, I have to have shared values with the organization. I have to have trust
mm,
in my leader. I need to feel connected. I need to feel seen as an individual and respected as an individual. All of these things
yeah,
laddered back to, you have to keep it real. It has to be real. It can't be one world when I'm at work, and then another world when I'm at home. I'm one integrated person, and I need to be addressed as one integrated person. And we also saw what happened when leaders got power and got status,
mm,
and how they dealt with that. And it wasn't because they were bad people or power hungry, whatever. It was because of the stress and the pressure and the anxiety of trying to keep that perfect,
mm,
persona, so that they didn't disappoint people, that they satisfied their bosses and the board of directors, and that they made their people feel safe. But they were just going about it the wrong way. They didn't know any differently. But now we know differently. So everything is changing.
that's fantastic. So finally, they that layer, they have felt threatened, and they need to respond, because otherwise they will not fit in.
Yep.
Oh,
And they also were looking around and saying, well, why are some leaders more effective than I am? And it was like, if you ask people, who are the leaders that you've always respected and admired, or the bosses that you remember and love, it's always the ones who, what you saw was what you got.
mm,
And someone who I felt like I could genuinely come to and speak my truth, and they would hear me, and they would, take it on board. It wasn't the people who micromanaged, or who, carried a big stick, or who, like,
you
smacked
saw
them
my
down.
post about my micromanagement.
Yeah, it
It
wasn't,
was
it wasn't, that was not those were not the people who got the best out of their,
yeah,
their teams.
yeah. Uh, okay, so by doing what you do, in effect, you go and disrupt people. But how people respond to disruption? What have you noticed? How do they? Okay, or combustion. Come
Yeah.
on, come here. I'm gonna
Look, there
bust
will
you.
always be people who are going to resist because they're afraid. And our brains are wired to for a better safe than sorry approach to life.
Mm,
We should be cautious, because bad things could happen. That's what the brain says. Be careful, be cautious. Anytime you're going to go towards something you've never experienced before, or you don't know the outcome of,
mm,
you should be justifiably, take a minute, take a step back and stuff. But you don't want that to paralyze you. So it's the role of the trainer, or the person creating the experience, to provide context for people, and to create an incredibly safe environment, and say, look, nothing bad is going to happen to you in this room. I promise you that nothing bad will happen to you. So you can test and play with these little ideas,
mm.
and see how it makes you feel. See how it makes you see other people. See, and then take it into the world and try it just a little bit. just a little bit. You don't have to do it, but be open to hearing about
Mhm.
the options and the opportunities. And we're going to make it really fun and exciting, and you won't even notice that the learning is going in. This is a day or a series of workshops just for you. So enjoy, relax, and maybe you'll get something out of it. But then they would see for themselves that
Mhm.
they were starting to be changed by the experience, and then it's over to them. They have to take it and do it with them. But I mean, there are always going to be people who went, oh, not for me. No, I've had people walk out of workshops.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
I
you
was
know, I've
going to
had
ask
I've
you.
had that. Sure, absolutely. People to say this is bullshit, and I'm so uncomfortable, and I shouldn't be this uncomfortable. And and often people will say that in the room, and I go, good, let's talk about it right here. Don't run away from it. Let's talk about it. We unpack it, and I go, discomfort, the sensation of discomfort is just your
Yes.
brain's way of trying to keep you doing things the way you've always done them. So you don't trust the sensation of discomfort. In fact, if you never experience discomfort, it
Mm.
means you're never evolving, you're never changing, you're never taking risk, you're never trying anything new. So I know it feels yucky, and it's designed
Yeah.
to make you feel yucky because your brain is trying to keep you safe. It's trying to say, look, the way you've been doing it has not killed you. So keep doing it like that. That's all that primal part of your brain knows. So you have to gently work those ideas through people's brains with context, with proof. You have to make it experiential. You can't just talk at them. Bah, bah, bah,
Yeah.
trust me, it's going to be great. You have to move them through
Mhm.
experiences where they see for themselves, wow, yeah, that felt different, or that looks different to me, or that, that the result was different. And we go, okay, so see a little bit of context. Now imagine if you extrapolated that out to this, what do you think might happen? And people go, oh, I'm going to try that. You go, okay, there you go, do it.
Okay. Honestly,
Yes.
this is so scary what you're saying, because you have no idea of the total global impact of what you are spreading that
Hmm.
disease around. Let's just tame a little bit things in the small business world.
Hmm.
What would be the impact of the swagger liberated souls?
Well, first, if you run a small business, it will help you to differentiate your brand right away, because you will stop looking to how everybody else is doing it, how you market and how you approach and how you sell. You'll say, what is right for me? What is my truth? And what do I believe? And what do I value? And what makes me freaky and magical and special and weird and unusual that could be of benefit to my people, right? And you stop worrying about everybody. You say, if I focus on who I am and what I
Mm.
genuinely, authentically have to offer, then I go look for the people who genuinely want that. And also they're going to find me, because they're looking too in the sea of sameness. They're looking for the ones that pop out and they go, oh, that resonates with me. That's,
Yes.
and it can only resonate if you say something, if you speak your truth, if you challenge a preconception, if you say, this is how we're different, or this is how I'm different. And people, it's incredible what happens. And we're so afraid, right? We go, every
Yeah.
small business owner has Googled how to market a small business. How should your website look? What kind
Yes,
of
yes,
pictures should you
yes,
use on your website? What is a
yes,
good example of homepage copy or marketing copy? I say, screw it.
yes,
Screw it.
exactly.
Throw it all away. Write whatever the hell you want. If you want to follow rules, maybe look at word count. Like, how much can we ingest in one little, and I say this as an advertising creative director, so I know the rules of communication. Like, figure out a strong subject line for an email, like things like that. Those are best practices. But that's the how, that's not the what.
Yeah,
The what should come from your
yes.
truth, your truth. And that is a beautiful thing. Plus, in terms of the team that you're creating, nothing, I speak as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, there is nothing more powerful than the combined energy of the team. They do everything. They are the driving force
Yeah.
of the organization. And if you create an environment in which everyone can speak their truth, be authentic, be real, be accepted and loved and respected for all of the things they are, all of it, their personal lives, their professional lives, their challenges, their responsibilities, their idiosyncrasies, their superpowers, their weaknesses, all of those things. They will be loyal to you forever because they will never want to go back into a world where they are not seen and they're not accepted. And we as small business owners need that retention. We need to have our team grow with us over time. It's critical to our success. High
Yes.
turnover is killer for a small business. We can't afford to lose a body, you know, to lose that human that has been integral to an aspect, because that's if you have you know 100,000 people in the business, you lose a few people, you don't even notice it, right? But if you have a team of 5 or 3 or 7,
They
and
become your family.
one person leaves, it's devastating to your business,
Yeah.
to the morale, to all of that kind of stuff. So my advice is you keep it real with them and you accept all of their stuff and you respect all of their stuff. They will never leave you, because why would they? Why would they go anywhere else?
Yeah. The biggest part of my work is when I work with small businesses is actually help them define their authenticity, find their true voice and true pull. I call it pull, not to be pushed by the, oh, you must do this, you should do this and all this. No, just listen very deeply for the pulling and follow that. But now I have a shortcut.
Yes, girl.
Okay,
Shortcut
so
is swagger.
No, seriously, Leslie, that's going to save me so much time because we go through all these exercises and things for them to see, recognize, and accept themselves and believe in their voice out. So I'm going to go deeper, a little bit deeper. Can swagger hurt? Today, sorry. That's the question. Today at the wonderful book club, the Swagger Book Club, Melanie Perry set up for us. We were asking these questions. Can swagger hurt? And actually trying to define what it means in our UK language, the word, the combination badass. So, right. So we found a description which actually I think can translate to the badass of your understanding is ultra cool motherfucker.
Oh yeah, ultra cool motherfucker. I like it.
Yeah.
But again, you know, not everybody is cool, and you don't have to be cool to have swagger.
No, but that was the
Right?
kind of closest we agreed.
Yeah.
The little
I mean,
group.
I think a badass is someone who's fearless. I think it's very simple.
Okay, I like
I think
fearless.
it's someone who, despite the challenges, despite what the world might be telling them, despite their own fears, their whatever, they go, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway because I believe in it. Because I really, truly, truly believe in it. I'm going to do it anyway. That's badass to me. Like when I see people bringing their stuff out, so I go, yes, yes, that is badass. And it can come like, that's the thing, is a lot of people think that swagger is this, you know, it's confidence, it's this, you know, high level of charisma and everything. For some people, that's how it manifests, but for many other people, that's not how it manifests. It's very quiet, it's very gentle, it's introverted, it's laid back, it's whatever you are. It's whatever you are in truth. And it's for introverts, it's the introverts who don't try and be extroverts and exhaust themselves because they think that that's the way they're going to be successful. That's the way people are going to notice them. If you're an introvert with swagger, people lean into you. People shut up so that you can talk because you have swagger and they know it. That's the beautiful thing.
Now that this is unleashed, totally, that monster, I have a horror film vision. So I imagine swagger release people running, or the swagger liberated people running around on the streets, manifesting their ultra authentic selves and all this. But Leslie, we need to be careful, very careful here, because this is UK. So we need to think about swagger licenses or permits. Because,
because swagger does not need permission. Because that's part of the problem, is that if you're waiting for permission, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. People often like other people to stay in their little boxes because they're easier to manage and easier to control when they're in their little boxes. But I am not suggesting that anybody runs around the street screaming, "I must speak my truth and you must listen." And, they're in their underwear and their whatever.
No, I know you're
No.
not suggesting this.
No, that's not a good idea. The thing about it is that, when it comes to unleashing your swagger, you have three secret weapons at your disposal, three key elements. And that's truth. Number one is that you have a responsibility to speak your truth. Now, the problem with truth is that not everybody wants to hear it. Okay. That's a fact. Not everybody wants to hear it. And we fundamentally care about ourselves more than we care about other people. That's survival. It's natural to care about yourself first. So when we want to speak our truth, we have to think about, first of all, is that truth of benefit to other people? If it's not, no one's going to give a shit. So sorry, it's not, so you need to figure out, how is my truth of benefit to the audience, the listener, also of benefit to the collective and to the greater good.
Yes.
Okay. Because if you can reframe it that way, you don't silence your truth, you don't diminish your truth, you don't change your truth.
You make
you
it to
reframe
serve
it.
the others. You make it serve the others
Yes.
for the collective good. And this is what I understand. However, not everyone will understand it like this. That's why in UK, semi-intelligence needs to be given swagger permits so that they can pass the tests.
Well, they have to learn it for themselves.
Educate.
They have, and you learn by trial and error, and this is the thing in life, we get do-overs. It's not, nothing is a career ender, you try, you say, because, okay, the other important part is we have truth, and then we have intention. The why are you doing it? Yeah. Why am I speaking my truth? Why is this important? Why is this of value? Why right now? Why? And if your truth is to make yourself look fancier and make someone else look shitty, it's not going to go well for you. You're going to get the appropriate reaction, and it's not going to go well. If you're trying to take something away from someone, that put the spotlight on you, and so they don't look at other people, it's not going to go well. If you're trying to be a shit disturber for no reason, just to get attention, it's not going to go well, and so on and so on. So you have to think about your why, and you have to correct it. If it's not correct, you got to go, oh, it's not, I'm pissed off, so now I'm going to puke my truth all over people. They don't care. No. You're going to end up looking bad. Not them. They won't. They're going to hate you for it. So you have to find a way to make it about yourself, but of benefit to them. And that's a skill. It's like anything. It's a learned skill. And in the book, there's like countless exercises to help you work through that step by step by step. Like anything, like any new skill, you have to learn it. You don't want someone to be a sharpshooter and you give them a machine gun and say, "Hey, go have fun." You go, "No. First, let's understand gun safety. First, let's understand this. Let's go responsibility. Let's go to the shooting range. Let's, I don't like guns. I don't know why that was an example, but you see what I mean? Like, it's dangerous otherwise to just go, "Oh yeah, look, it's a gun and Hezbollah. Let's go fire them." No, that's not a good idea. Not a good idea.
I just feel so happy that we are kind of, I'm witnessing that evolution section, little part of our human evolution, to go and actually want these things to be reality, so that we are conscientious and conscious in our choices, whatever we do, for the greater good, and wrap everything that we do with it, with that care. Our truths and our intentions and
I lived in the UK for 17 years. So I lived there between the ages of like 19. I was a singer. I moved to the UK to pursue my dreams of being a singer. And I ended up living there. It was my spiritual home, always has been. I've always loved all things British. And so I moved there when I was 19. I moved back to Canada when I was like 36. So my entire adult experience is British. Despite the fact that I have a Canadian accent, I am British. Like everything I learned about being a grown-up, I learned in the UK. All my cultural points of reference, all of my experiences, all those foundational things, all of my friends, all of my everything. And the thing that I discovered about people in the UK, which is I love, is that, because of the cultural aspect for many people of that being, having a very, the mask, right? It's the mask
Yeah.
of politeness. It's the mask of perfection. It's the mask of whatever. It's so surface thin. Because all you got to do is scratch the surface of anybody and you get the hot lava. This is why drinking is such a big cultural thing. Because people use alcohol to go, now I can show you who I am. Now I can relax. Now I can be who I am. And I don't have to apologize for it because we're all doing it together. And that's why people, they run from their jobs to the pub so they can go, oh God, I could just take off this heavy coat of persona and bullshit. And I could just be myself. And unfortunately, there's that correlation because I think we should be able to do it without alcohol. It's just what in the UK culture, that's what it's kind of become. And I get it. I understand it. But I know that it's so, everybody that I met, and I mean thousands and thousands of people. I was a TV host in the UK. I was on camera for years. Everybody is more and more the pressure to burst past that persona of control and perfection. People are dying inside. They're being smothered and they are dying to break free from it. So I think even more so than many other cultures, I think Swagger UK
Definitely needs it.
is even more important because I know you people. I love you. Like, you are my people. You're my people. This is the people that I love the most in the world. And for that reason too, is that me having relationship with these people allowed them to be their authentic selves because I didn't judge it. I didn't come from that culture that was judging the things that they're used to being judged for, you know? It's fascinating and this was a big insight when I first moved, that because I have a Canadian accent, people could not assess what my background was. They made no assumptions about, did I come from working class, middle class, upper class, what part of the country I was from. There was no assumptions. So they just had to accept me as face value.
Okay.
So it messed with their heads a little bit because in the UK, we do. There's a lot of bias, a lot of judgment around class and origin and all that kind of stuff. But they couldn't peg me. So
and also because I'm immigrant here in the UK. I originate from Bulgaria, but we've lived here 22 years. But I've never given into perceptions. So
well, you weren't raised with that. It's not in your DNA. You and I are lucky. We didn't come from that. So we didn't bring that baggage with us.
No, and I never gave in. So people accepted me for who am I, for who I am. And no one questioned that. Whereas other immigrants, I've noticed, they'll just stick within that tribe and they would be subjected. Okay, I know we're advancing with the time. You have another meeting. Question. Where do you see yourself and career in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you want to see yourself doing?
Well, I think about it a lot and I think about it a little, if that makes sense,
Yes.
Because I want to go deeper into my purpose. That's very important to me. But it's funny that when I've had this crazy career and, I've done all these amazing things in my life. And when I launched this book and it hit the Wall Street Journal and the USA Today bestseller list, instead of it like fueling my ambition, it kind of made my ambition relax a little bit.
Okay.
I went, there is this thing now that is out in the world that is separate from me. This thing is going to live in the world and it's going to impact people in and of itself. Like, it's magical, So I felt like, it was a little bit of relief for me that I don't always have to be the conduit or the face of this message. It's its own thing now. And it's evergreen. It's never going to date. The message is never going to get old. It's for people who want and need it. So it was kind of a beautiful thing. And I went, oh, this is so lovely because I can now separate myself from it if I want to, or I can step into it more if I want to. So I'm looking at it through both of those lenses. I don't want people to think that swagger is limited to me, that I am just the queen of swagger and only I have it and you need to talk to me in order to have it. No, you don't. You really don't. So I want to make it as ubiquitous and as open as possible. So here's a bunch of things that I've been thinking about. One of them is doing swagger certification for business and life coaches.
Well, I want to help them.
Yeah, swagger permits to help people to share that and spread that with their clients. How
Mm,
do you help your clients to find their swagger? So that's something I thought would be a really beautiful way to spread the message further.
mm,
I've also spent so many years doing corporate programs, which I love, but I'm very aware of the fact that people's access to it is limited. It's limited by whether their company buys into it, whether they have the
mm,
training budgets and whatever. So I'm starting to create programs for individuals, for anybody who wants to do it. You don't have to ask your company. You don't have to be part of a company. You can
mm,
be a solopreneur, an entrepreneur. You can be a student. You can be anybody that you want, and you can find that support and that development
mm.
within a cohort of like-minded people. So that's something that I'm working on at the moment as well. I'm also a speaker, so I love speaking. I love, with a passion, being on stage and reaching big audiences. It's so exciting for me, and to get the feedback.
Mm.
This past year has sucked for that, because I've been doing virtual keynotes and it's one way. It's like you can't
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
faces, you can't anything and stuff. So I'm excited that now I'm starting to book,
Mm.
more back in person gigs, because I've missed it terribly. So that's exciting for me. And beyond that, I don't know. I don't know. I
Okay.
think that's a lot. That's a lot and I'm just going to keep, I'm very active on social media. I make sure that I'm constantly sharing things that I believe are inspirational to keep it going, just keep the swagger conversation going. And then I'm just going to see what happens. I've
Yeah.
always been open to things, and as a result, things happen, things come to me, and I go, ooh, that's fun. Ooh, that sounds exciting. Ooh, I'll do that. I'll try that. So yeah,
Never say no. Never
yeah,
say
never
no
say no.
when. Okay. So about the world and the business, the business creation and interactions. What is your idealistic vision 10 years from now? What do you want to be able to see and living?
I want people to be happier. I really do. I know it sounds so basic, but I want people to be able to be as fulfilled in their work as possible, because this is not a rehearsal, this life that we get. And every day that we spend working should be a day that we've spent in our place of fulfillment and purpose and progress. Like, it just, otherwise, what's the point? We get so caught up, and it's going to get existential,
Mm,
but we get so caught up in the doing, the human doing, we forget the human being. And then
mm.
it's too late. Then all of these amazing years have passed us by. We've been so stressed out at work that we didn't pay attention to our kids or our partners or ourselves. It's like we're not in prison. Work is not a prison. Work is a like a playground. Work is a ladder. Work is all of things, but it's not a prison. And I want people to believe that they have the freedom to make choices
Mm.
and to be in places where they are truly valued, so that they can experience what it's like to have true progress and to have it be meaningful. And you listen, that's different for everybody. You don't have to be a game changer, groundbreaker, innovator, whatever. If you're a project manager and you love the work that you do,
Mm.
and you really take great pride in protecting the team and making sure that the project is on time and on budget, and helping people to achieve their greatness within that, and it fulfills you, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Do it with all the gusto in your heart. Love it. Be proud of it. Whatever it is. If you're a solopreneur and you make things and sell them on freaking Etsy, and it fills you with joy and whatever, then do it. You know, and as long as you're not stressing about, oh my God, how do I make it bigger all the time, and how am I going to pay things and whatever, do it. This is your life. This is the only life that we get. There's a great line in a poem called "My Soul Has a Hat," and I can't remember the author of the poem, but the poem is "My Soul
I'll
Has a
find
Hat,"
it out.
and there's a line in it that says, "We have two lives. The second one begins when we realize we only have one."
That's beautiful. Oh
Right?
gosh, that's so powerful.
So powerful. And I'm already, like, I'm in kind of the third chapter of my life. I'm 57. So I have lived a whole bunch of life. I really am. I know, girl, right? Looking good for 57. But here's the thing, is when you don't let the world eat you up, you stay vibrant. You know, I have a lot of energy
Yes.
because I'm making it all the time, and I
Yeah.
don't let it get sucked out of me. You know, I give it freely. I don't let it get sucked out of me. There's a
Yeah, but
difference.
it
You know?
has its ways of coming back to you and energizing
Always.
it and charging you up when you,
Always,
yeah,
always, right?
I love that.
That's what, you know, and I wasn't always like this. I mean, I stressed a lot of my life, but I learned over time. And now I'm in this third chapter, and it's as exciting to me as the first and the second. I'm not even sure where the first one ended and the second one began, but I'm aware now that I'm in this third thing. A place where a lot of people start going, I'm just going to wind down now. I'm not gonna, I'm like, ooh, what's
No.
next? What's next? Bring
You
it. What are, you know,
you
what's going to
have
happen next?
you've got so much, you have learned so much, and you have tried so much. So yeah,
Anything can
you
happen.
know,
Anything can happen.
okay. So very quickly, one very wise tip for our listeners, and then please tell them how to find you. Well, I will tell them how to find you, but you can tell them yourself.
Okay, one, I mean, I have
Okay,
a lot
three
of
wise
tips. Oh my
tips.
God. Okay. So, the first thing is stop trying to ignore the negative voices in your head because your psyche is going to talk to you. And if you just put your fingers in your ears and say, la, 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 not listening, they're still going to be there. So what you need to do is work on recording over them with what I call the resume of awesome, with the facts of your life, the facts that negate all of those negative voices, proof to the contrary, like a good defense lawyer. Okay. And record over those voices using the facts and the proof that you have that those voices in your head are not speaking the truth. So that's one. It's very, very powerful. The other thing is that not all of us know how to speak our truth. So just like anything, practice speaking your truth when it's zero stakes poker. Speak it in the mirror when no one is looking. Record it on your phone and play it back to yourself. Hear what it sounds like. Hear the passion, hear the mess, hear the you know, the conviction, and then figure out what to do with it. Say, okay, that's what I want to say. Now what's the best way to say that? So I think that's really, really important. Don't assume that you're going to get it right the first time, and you might as well practice when no one is looking. So you build the skills without, you know, the thing. The other thing, and this is the most important thing, is please know that you already have everything that you need inside of you. It's not going to come from the outside. Stop looking. Everything that you need to succeed is already within you. You just have to choose to accept it and to believe it. And the second that you do, your life will change. That's truth, girl.
It is true.
It's true. So you can find me if you want to come play with me on social. I love well, you know. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm at Leslie M. That's LESLIEEHM. On Instagram, I have so much fun at Leslie M Speaks. You can find everything about what I do, the work, the book, the whole, you know, shebang on lesliem.com. And the book is available from all good book retailers. So you can get it on Amazon, UK, and so on. You can get it anywhere in the world. She loves it. Yes. It's like candy, girl. It's like candy.
It is like candy.
Candy for the soul. Candy for the soul.
It's beautiful. Leslie, I can't thank you enough for stopping by, giving us your energy at empowering the conscious business evolution. Guys, I told you, you have to listen. You were just hit by a blast of hurricane, whirlpool, or whatever, waterfall. Right. Leslie, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope to meet again. And I shall use that shortcut to my clients.
Please do. And big love to all my UK people. I love you. I miss you. I try and spend as much time there as I possibly can. So I'll be back with you all soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye. And that was your inspiration to continue empowering your conscious business evolution today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope our conversations will help you take your own steps toward innovating and evolving as a conscious business by making choices for the benefit of people, communities, and environment. If you have any questions to my guests, I will leave their contact details in the description of this post. If you'd like to come to the show and share your wisdom, you're more than welcome. Please write to me to Antonina@visionsinspire.com. But definitely have a listen to all previous interviews and do subscribe to the Visions Inspire YouTube channel for my next show for more inspiration on being part of our conscious business evolution together. Please give Visions Inspire your like on Facebook and follow on Twitter and Instagram. And do share with others to listen, spread the word, grow the knowledge. That's the spirit of the conscious business evolution. Till next time, from me, Antonina Manev, your business growth strategist, turning visions into profitable businesses, and always here to empower the conscious business evolution. Thank you, and till next time.